I always say, don't plan your life too much. It's really helped me to enjoy it more. I've mentioned in previous videos that another thing that's really helped me is to significantly lower my expectations out of everything this life has to offer, and just live day to day, hour to hour, moment by moment, sunset to sunset. It helps tremendously with a peaceful, simplistic existence. If you constantly have expectations out of life, out of your career, out of people, out of experiences, do you know what's going to happen? You're going to be left with a lot of miserable times because people are going to let you down. Things aren't going to work out the way you wanted them to. There's going to be traffic when you wanted it to be a smooth road. Who suffers? You. All because of your expectations. It had nothing to do with the traffic. It had nothing to do with your friend moving to Singapore. It had nothing to do with the things that naturally occurred. The reason you suffered is because you came up with an expectation in your mind and you projected that out into your world. And the world didn't bend to your will. Might I remind you that it never will. And that's something that we need to give into as quickly as we can. Drop your expectations. If I meet a new friend, I don't expect them to become my best friend in 5 years. I don't expect them to be friends with me forever. So if they move away one day and I never hear from them again, I thank them for their company. What a lovely chapter in my storybook. And that's it. You've got to drastically lower your expectations for a happier life. And the same is to be said with planning your life. Don't plan too much. Allow things to unfold. Allow things to happen naturally, organically, wonderfully, beautifully, spontaneously. I've seen a lot of people in life suffer dramatically because they've planned their life. They've planned to be married by 30. They plan to have their first child at 32 and the next one at 34, so that there can be a couple age gap between the two children, and they want 2 boys, 2 troublesome boys. They also want their husband to be like this, or the husband wants his wife to be like that. And then they plan to work in this career until this time and to do this thing, and then eventually they retire. And when they retire, they want to do this and take up golf, get into bowls, and have 7 grandchildren. And it's the same thing with expectations. When life doesn't bend to your will, to your plans, to your goals, to your expectations, you are left suffering, feeling like a victim. Why did that have to happen to me? I planned it so perfectly in my mind, but it didn't manifest physically in the real world. And now I feel like life is against me. Don't plan your life too much. If you want to have kids, have kids. Maybe you've already had some kids and you want them to have kids. It's fine to want things. It's fine to plan a holiday or to have a general idea of where you want to go in life. But don't plan too much. Don't write a list that would be the length of a football field. Don't even have a tick list or a checklist. I appreciate bucket lists, but so long as there's a few gaps or a few of them are left empty, you're going to feel more unfulfilled than fulfilled. Be spontaneous. Do things on a will, on a whim. See how you feel. Who knows what winter will bring? Who knows what summer will bring? Who knows what next spring will bring? Good times, bad times, bumps in the road, heavy traffic, big family news. Who knows? We don't really know what's going to happen in life. We want to gain as much control as possible because we believe that it reduces our anxiety towards it. But ironically, it only brings more anxiety into your life. You never know where you're going to end up. You might have a plan, But if that plan doesn't work the way you wanted, you'll be left felt unfulfilled. I had this with someone I know who really wanted to just get married and have children. And she did that, and it hasn't worked out the way she planned, the way she wanted it to. It's happened, but it didn't feel like the way she wanted it to. I had a friend who moved to New Zealand. Shout out Cali Joe. That wasn't the friend, by the way. That's another friend. But my friend Kyle, he moved out to New Zealand, and he was so excited. He got a job over there as a high school teacher, and he had a place to stay, and he was set to be there for quite some time. He came back in a couple of months, said he didn't like it, wasn't for him. Now my cousin moved to New Zealand. She hasn't been back since. Married, children, she lives out there, she loves it. She didn't plan to live out there. It was a spontaneous trip. She now lives there. My friend Kyle planned to live there. He ended up coming home. Don't plan your life too much. We can often fantasize and romanticize in our minds about how our future is going to play out based on the films and storybooks that we watched and read as children. I love a good rom-com, don't get me wrong, but they can leave a false idea about life in your mind. You think that life is going to be like the films, like the storybooks, that there's a happily ever after out there for each and every one of us. Oh no, that's not how life works. Some people are dealt better cards than others. We're all going to suffer. We're all going to cry. We're all going to experience heartbreak and heartache. People are going to die young. People are going to die old and wise. Your life is an hourglass. And no one knows how many grains of sand are within that hourglass. That's why we need to move gently, move humbly, move honestly, with strength, with wisdom, and with a genuine understanding that life happens spontaneously. And once we align with that, everything becomes way more adventurous. You stop moving through life as a straight line. The bumps in the road become fun. The spontaneity becomes enjoyable. There's adventures around every corner. Don't plan your life too much. Go out there and do things. Have adventures. Enjoy yourself. Get some dates in the diary. You should see my diary. It's pretty full. Mostly with, I'm going into nature today. But don't plan life too much. It's not there to be planned. It's there to be experienced. And certainly there to be enjoyed while you're still here, while you still have life in your vessel. I'm so grateful to be here tonight. It's a beautiful sunset. The fields around me are looking wonderful and golden. This tree is absolutely incredible. If I was good at building tree houses, I think this is the one I would live in. Don't be afraid to allow adventure to fill the gaps in your life. There's a whole load of adventures out there for you to come. But rather than plan them, I want you to do them on a whim. I want you to do them when you're scared. I want you to do them spontaneously. I did that yesterday. Me and Grace were driving home, and the sea was looking beautiful, and it was all lit up by the stars. It was very late at night. It was gone midnight, but we pulled over and we sat by the shore in the dark, watching the waves and watching the stars. Before we knew it, it had gone 1 o'clock in the morning. We didn't prioritize that. We didn't expect to do that. We were just driving home, but we did that. And I'm always going to remember that beautiful evening, full of stars, full of waves, full of lovely conversation. Allow adventure to fill the gaps in your life, those big gaps, and enjoy the process. Be grateful for the process. God bless.